In the first chapter, Hank Pruden talks about system building for top trading. He starts the chapter by giving us his background, then slices the chapter to four sections, where he introduces us to the four important concepts which builds over each other. Introduction. Hank Perdue in markets was a student of Edson Gould and was very much interested in his works. Later, he got fascinated by the works of Joseph Granville and his tree of indicators, which led to the basics of developing Hank Perdue's life cycle of crowd behavior model. In the first section, he has a conversation with Anthony Tabel, grandson of Richard Wyckoff, where he talks about the fractal nature of markets, the art of analytical speculation, which he describes as intuitive, deterministic, contrary, and apocalyptic. He charts the similarities between the technical trader of that century and the current century. In the second section, he talks about the story of Addison Kamak. He talks about the story from the book Reminiscence of a Stock Operator by Edwin. In this chapter, when we look closely, we see three things: understanding crowd behavior, pattern recognition, and mental discipline. In this campaign on St. Paul, which is an interesting illustration of Addison Kamak, Hank wants us to see the four traits of a top trader, that is, being intuitive, deterministic, contrary, and apocalyptic. In the third section, Hank says the trader who seeks success in 21st century must observe the best lesson from the past while embracing the newest thinking in the present. Hank here introduces us to a new tool to deal with the new age of high concept and high touch. He introduces us to the thinking of Daniel Pink through his book, A Whole New Mind: Why Right Brainers Will Rule the Future. He calls 21st century as conceptual age and says we must have the ability to grasp the relationship between relationships. He calls it seeing the bigger picture. He quotes studies which illustrates why this cognitive ability is must for 21st century and then introduces us to the six senses. Design. Pink contends that the new age calls for systems that are not only functional but also arresting, even beautiful. In technical analysis and trading, designing your system to transcend functions and engage you will lead to personal rewards, both emotional and financial. One approach that three skills of top trading takes is to build dual systems that have both visual right brain component and an analytical checklist component. These two approaches can help you capture the full benefit available from your whole mind. Story. Wells Fargo, the creator of many technical indicators in use today, once told Hank that you have to have a story to get the message fully observed and appreciated. Pink's philosophy says that persuasion, communication, and your ability to understand yourself hinge on your capacity to understand and tell a compelling narrative. Symphony. Pattern recognition, the old-fashioned way to read charts, is at a premium. Pink argues that now more than ever, in a global economy where specialized labor can be found all over the world, the real demand is for individuals who can put it all together. The great need is the ability to see the bigger picture, to pursue the interconnection of market themes, to take different pieces of the market puzzle and put them together in much the same way that a conductor pulls together the player and instruments to create the arresting sound of a beautiful symphony. Empathy. According to Pink, logic alone will soon be insufficient. We must be able to feel others, they intuit what motivates them. Assume that behind the stock screens on your computer, there dwells a market genie called the composite man. To understand him, you will need to walk in his footprints. And to walk in his footsteps, you will need to cultivate that right-brained attribute called empathy. In chapter 9, you will discover ways and means to cultivate your power and engage in empathy. play. You need to enjoy playing the game, to extract the essence from the market and the best from yourself. Pink points out that both the health and professional benefit of laughter and games are well documented, and he contends that too much sobriety can actually be damaging for one's career and general well-being. Chapter 9 offers you opportunities to play in the chart reading in the R mode section, and with the simulation called the action sequence, taking pleasure in the play, the market will also help you maintain the distance required to see yourself objectively and carry out the 10 tasks of the trading outlined in chapter 8, and to maintain the mental balance required for effective trading. Meaning, Pink points out that convenience of modern life, mass food production and so on, has freed us to pursue fulfillment on a more profound level. To draw the best out of yourself and get the most out of your life as a trader, you need some greater purpose and meaning for yourself and your trading. These important attributes identified by Pink is addressed in chapter 10 in the section A Sealed Room and Only One Client. System building for the 21st century technical trader. Here Hank shows us a spectrum of system building for technical traders, from non-discretionary to discretionary system. He didn't believe in the black box or ruleless system and said he was into the middle spectrum. Black box system is like 920 straddles. Ruleless is no system. Let's admit it, we have mastered this system and have seen our P&L fluctuation, especially towards the down. Hank didn't believe in this system, so he concentrated on the ones in between. For mechanical system, he illustrates us primary trend projector. Since he was a student of Granville, who stressed on Dow theory for primary trend paramount, added the 200-day moving average of equity index to give a cold, bloodless determination of the primary trend of the market. Let's say three major indices are above 200-day moving average, that is bullish. If three major indices are below 200-day moving average, it is bearish. That kind of trend projection was done with mechanical system. Decision support system, his model of life cycle of crowd behavior fits in. In discretionary system, Wyckoff method fits in. He then quantifies the system with the need of self-discipline and mental state management. Black box system required very less need as we go right. The need for self-discipline and mental state management increases. For the need of self-discipline and mental state management, he proposes three tools: 10 tasks of top training, chart reading in R mode, a sealed room and only one client. Now let's talk system. In primary trend suggestion, it was relatively very simple. Above 200-day moving average bullish, below bearish. Then the last system, a pattern recognition and discretionary trading system for the technical trader, the Wyckoff method. Here we have David Pink's left brain and right brain. In left brain we have Wyckoff checklist of 9 buying test and 9 selling test. On right brain we have Wyckoff schematics for accumulation and Wyckoff schematic for distribution. That's all for this video. Let's see in the next video.